Okay, it's 3:30 and we'll call the meeting to order for the, Henry County Fiscal Court. And the, first thing on the agenda will be the first reading of the 27, Henry County budget. And I've asked that Travis will read through these. He's a little faster than I am. And, so I've asked him to, just go through line by line. If you got any questions, just stop us and we'll, try to answer any questions, and, we'll move right on through this, try to get y'all out here as quick as possible.
All right, well, the first page, once you open, you have one?
I made the new one. You want one?
There's a proposed budget appropriations. That's just gonna be a summary, for the appropriations. 5,000 fund. Do you normally do this one? Okay. The general government at $2,416,694.40. Next one, protection to persons and property, $39,901. General health and sanitation, $1,499,623.45. Recreation and culture, that's $155,500. Capital projects, $190,336.72. General services, $212,000. Contingent appropriations, $100,000. Transfers to other funds, $1. And fringe benefits is at $884,066. The road fund, roads, $1,170,000. General services, $69,000. Contingent appropriations, $80,000. Transfer to other funds, $1. And fringe benefits of $141,000. Jail fund, protection to persons and property, $619,546. General services, $1,000. Contingent appropriations, $5,000. Transfers to other funds, $1. And fringe benefits of $41,000. The 04 GEA fund, general government, $18,000. Protection to persons and property, $107,000. Social services, $20,000. Recreation and culture, $11,000. Contingent appropriations, $10,000. Solid waste. We have the general health and sanitation of $29,550 and contingent appropriations of $500. Opioid recreation, it's at $250,000. E911 protection of persons and property of $125,000. ABC general government at $85,189.50. Contingent appropriations of $10,000. Transfer to other funds, $1. And the fringe benefits of $6,000. Moving on, still ladies, county clerk's document storage fund, general government of $95,500, transient room, recreation and culture of $25,000, and the Angels MV general health and sanitation of $400,000.
Then, right, I ain't sure you got the ABC fund. 110,000, I ain't sure, is that on your paper?
That's the total accumulate, that's the added total. So then, these are gonna be your itemized breakdown of those numbers for appropriations. Alright, so if you've got a question on any of these line items, just stop me. Okay, for county judge executive salary, $114,203. County deputy judge at $36,854. Fiscal court clerk at $4,000. Judge executive fringe benefits of $5,500. The judge executive's fuel maintenance for vehicles at $1,500. Judge executive's office supplies at $5,000. Bank charges at $100. Renewals and repairs for the annex at $30,000. Utilities for the annex at $50,000. The fiscal court travel money for the 4-H renovation, there's a balance of $4,986.88 on that. That's rolled over from the prior year. County attorney's salary at $28,300. County attorney's secretary and summer help at $150,000. County attorney's office supplies at $800. County clerk's salary at $114,203. County clerk and deputy salary at $265,000. County clerk fees of $1,000. County clerk expense account at $3,600. County clerk's fringe benefits at $5,500. County clerk tax bill preparation at $3,000. Sheriff's salary $114,203. Sheriff's deputy salaries at $395,000. Sheriff's office staff and deputy full-time at $97,500. Sheriff's part-time office at $68,000. The sheriff's clef at $28,091.52. The sheriff's fringe benefit training at $5,500. And then the sheriff's excess fee conditional, this is a rollover from their excess fees of $100,000. The sheriff's drug enforcement of $2,000. Homeland Security at $1, just leaving that one open. Coroner's salary at $19,100. The coroner's deputy and assistant at $8,000, and the coroner's expense account at $7,500. County magistrate's salaries at $109,000. The incentive trainings at $37,000. The legal fees ordered by the court of $1,500. Legal ads of $5,000. Registrations, conferences, and trainings at $12,000. PVA statutory contribution of $53,100. PVA Board of Assessment Appeals, $800. County Treasurer's salary at $62,850. County Treasury office supplies of $2,000. Data processing miscellaneous of $23,500. That's our software program as well as our emails and data backup and cloud usage for IT. County Law Library of $600. Elections officers salaries and mileage of $22,000. Election commissioner salaries of $2,200. Voting machine upgrades of $1. Polling place rentals of $400. Voting machine storage $1. Election printing and advertising at $35,000. Planning and zoning administrator at $54,600. Planning and zoning admin assistant at $37,000. Planning and zoning legal fees at $15,000. Gas and maintenance for solid waste. Planning and zoning and solid waste at $1,000. Planning and zoning office supplies at $9,500. That includes their yearly renewals for their software. That's why that has gone up. Bank charges $100. Legal ads $3,000. Planning and zoning refunds of $500. Planning and zoning conferences and membership fees of $8,000. Planning and zoning telephone of $1,500. Planning and zoning mileage $100. Planning and zoning miscellaneous $1,000. Economic development grants for Spectrum $25,000. That's a rollover from I think 2 years ago that we still haven't gotten an invoice for from a grant that they applied for that we had promised that amount. So courthouse superintendent half $36,854. Custodial contract, the lawn, $69,455. Custodial operations, $90,546. Courthouse insurance, $34,655. Courthouse utilities of $55,000. Courthouse miscellaneous, $1,000. On fire data contribution of $3,300. DES deputy contribution of $8,000. DES operation of $10,000. DES hazmat material cleanup of $100. DES director contribution of $8,000. DES travel of $500. Homeland Security of $1, and Senate Bill 66 of $10,000. Moving on to animal control. Animal control officer $49,500. Animal control staff at $30,500. Grants and donations $1. Animal services operating expense $25,000. Animal services fuel and maintenance $7,500. Animal control conference of $500. Animal control vehicle of $12,000. Recycling solid waste litter at $500. And the Pendleton Sewer Project with rollover balance of $1,374,122.35. Parks director $45,500. Parks assistant $34,000. Parks part-time $20,000. Concessions, which is a rollover of $5,000. Parks fuel and maintenance $3,000. Parks repairs and maintenance of $20,000, and parks utilities of $28,000. Park improvement with the Baptist, this is rollover money from the sale of the property of $130,336.72. The Safety Clean, Park Supplies and Improvement of $60,000. Auditing, $50,000. Insurance expense is $105,000. That's up about 10%. Total up to about $20,000 this year. Officials bonds, $29,000, membership, $7,000, insurance reimbursement, which is a wash account for claims, is $20,000, and miscellaneous expense of $1,000. Got a reserve for transfer of $100,000. Transfer to other funds is $1. Social Security is $140,000. County retirement is $345,000. Health insurance is $370,000. It was up 16% this year, approximately a $70,000 increase. And with this, we did expand our health insurance. I think Amanda's going to give you all some year open enrollments. But we did add a third plan, a HSA plan that will is less cost to us, as well as it would provide we would provide a single user a $500 HSA, and the family plan, parent plus with your children and spouse with a $1,000 HSA plan. So that's at $370,000. Unemployment insurance of $6,000. Workman's comp is $23,066. So that concludes general fund of 01.
So is there any questions on any of that? All right, well,
If you have something come up later, we can come back to it too. Okay, moving on to road fund. Road supervisor salary, $52,500. Office expense of $500. Road worker salaries, $215,000. Consultant of $30,000. Contracted highways of $200,000. Special road and bridge is $100,000. The state road aid is our state funding that we're going to receive, plus a $29,000 match of our money for $197,000. Asphalt for $35,000. That's patchwork. Rock $90,000. Fuel $50,000. Materials $50,000. Salt and cinders at $67,500. Uniforms at $1,500. Medical expense of $1,000. Training for $5,000. Utilities $15,000. Maintenance and repairs for vehicles and equipment $40,000. Vehicle or equipment purchase of $20,000. Liability insurance of $68,000. Miscellaneous of $1,000. Reserve for transfer of $80,000. Transfer to other funds $1. Social Security $18,000. Retirement $42,000. Health insurance $45,000. Unemployment insurance of $1,000. And workman's compensation of $35,000. That concludes the road department appropriations.
Anybody got any questions on them?
Okay, moving on to jail, which we had in our fiscal court meeting, but it's all the same. Jailer salary, $64,000. Deputy jailer salaries, $80,000. Training fringe benefits of $5,446. Contract with other counties, $350,000. Gas maintenance radios, $12,000. Uniforms, $1,000. Medical, $75,000, which was increased from $20,000 due to one inmate that we have that is getting chemo treatments, costing us $5,000 per month. We just recently have gotten him on Medicaid, we believe, which should reduce that substantially, but we've got a budget for it. Dues $100. Staff training $1,500. Jailer vehicle, a minivan of $30,000. We had $15,000 budgeted in our current year that we're not going to be using. So we're rolling that over so that they can make the purchase, but it's going to be after a January purchase, because this is election year. You've got the 65-35 rule. So any big purchases that we don't have to have before January, we're going to try to push off to make sure we don't spend a bunch of stuff up front. And
We can't spend no more than 65% of the budget
35.
because it's an election
yeah.
year.
35%? More than 65%?
We can
65,
spend 65%, but not over.
but not over that, so we don't run the line.
And there's
out
some
of
serious
sight.
consequences
Yeah.
with it, so.
Oh, yeah, they gonna take your birthday away, I'm telling you, it is serious.
Housing juveniles 500, miscellaneous 1,000, reserve for transfer 5,000, transfer to other funds $1, Social Security 12,000, retirement 20,000, employee health insurance 9,000. That concludes jail. All right, moving on to LGEA, economic development specialist 18,000, housing inmates 75,000. That's up from 25,000 to help offset some of our expenses. Building inspector, 12,800. Fire department radio equipment, 9,600. Forest fire contribution of 1,600. The public advocacy court mandated 8,000. Indigent care of 7,000. Senior citizens contribution of 12,000. Social services for 1,000, splash pad park maintenance for 10,000, Chamber of Commerce tourism 1,000, and reserve for transfer of 10,000.
What's the economic development specialist 18,000 for?
6 of that is our county contribution to that I-71 corridor. It's $8,000 total right now, and I think Eminence and Campbellsburg pay 1,000 apiece. And then we had budgeted in, they had discussed a CDL training program that they were gonna do and get all the counties involved with. And that will be what the other amount is. And that's what we budgeted last year. That program hasn't come about. I don't know if there's any movement on that, but that's what it's budgeted for.
And they are asking for more from, the I-71 group than the 8,000 we're paying now. But we're not gonna agree to any more than what any of the other counties is paying, and I'm not sure that everybody's gonna raise, as much as they're asking, but it don't hurt to ask. So that's what that is for, Roger.
What about the building inspector? If the building inspector, the person pays him that he's doing the inspections for, what are we paying?
We pay for plumbing, for electrical and the building inspectors pay. We contract with them to make sure they're available for other people. We pay them,
I think it's
$533.30.
and then they draw.
Like a retainer.
But in order for us to be able to have a permit, you have to have a hired inspector. Is that not right, Amanda?
That's correct.
So that's what we contract out with them for.
so that's where that comes from.
Okay, just curious.
Good question.
Okay, moving on to solid waste. The litter grant, salary part-time 500, promotional materials 550, litter cleanup 23,100, litter gas 550, solid waste office supplies 850, and solid waste tire grant 4,000, reserve for transfer of 500. Next is opioid fund, just opioid settlement of 250,000. That's anticipated revenue and current bank balance. 911 emergency dispatch, 125,000. So we have bumped that up because the current 911, what's the actual group called?
Regional 911.
Regional 911 account that gets most of its money through landlines and cell phones. That account is starting to dry up, and it's going to eventually be fiscal court's sole responsibility to pay Henry County's portion of 911 dispatch.
It's getting real serious as far as the landlines is almost non-existent. And, it's always been that you hear them talk about the 911 fund at all these conferences, but it's never been a problem for Henry County, but it's becoming a problem now for Henry County. We're gonna have to figure out if we're gonna fund it out of our budget, which I don't see how we can, or if we're gonna put something on a water bill or something like, that's what most counties is doing now. So we'll have to figure that out sometime soon.
Yes, we did pay for it with the landline. We did have a payment bill on our landline, I'm thinking.
Mhm.
All right.
I think like $1.
Yeah, I
But all
remember.
landlines have disappeared.
Yeah,
Okay, ABC, sheriff deputy overtime of 12,000, ABC personnel 25,000, ABC enforcement officer of 9,000, ABC office supplies postage phone 7,500, return checks of 500, ABC training and website of 300, ABC office utilities of 6,000, ABC educational preventative and resources 12,000, and the sheriff building purchase of 12,889.50. Reserve for transfer of 10,000. Transfer of funds, $1. Social security benefits, 2,000. ABC workers' comp of 1,500, and ABC liability insurance of 2,500. Okay, county clerk document storage. This is county clerk's storage, 95,500. That's the anticipated revenue coming in for the year along with bank balance carryover. Tourism and convention contribution of 25,000. That's a wash account. And then Angels Envy, the EDA's CDBG of 400,000. That's the remainder to once our audit is done, they can close out the EDA. And so that should be closed out on this fiscal year 27's budget. Okay, moving on to revenues. These are the proposed revenues. Okay, taxes, $1,665,001. Excess fees of $184,978.80. License and permits of $535,001. Intergovernmental revenues of $361,997.52. Charges for services, 11,000. Miscellaneous revenues, 1,327,609. Interest earned of 120,000. Surplus borrowing and transfers of 1,292,535.25.
what's that miscellaneous revenue?
That is I believe that's a sewer. 47.
Let's see,
It's depending on the sewer project, isn't it?
Yep.
It is 609. That is a combination of safety clean, so it's the first, second page, it's the 4700 series, which is the vending from concessions,
Go to page 105.
yeah, 105, 2 pages back.
Yeah, there's 2 pages from where you're.
It's all the 4,700 items combined.
No, you're headed wrong. Keep going, 2 pages. Yeah,
So it'd be
47 series starts right there,
all those from here.
and right
It's
there.
on the next page.
All of those combined. The page that Travis is reading now is like the summary of the details that we're gonna go over.
this is just, that's the same thing as what the first summary was of the appropriations. This is the same thing that we'll get the details back here.
Okay, road fund, intergovernmental revenues, 1,675,499. Charges and services, 5,000. Miscellaneous revenue, 1,001. Interest earned of 501. And surplus borrowing or transfers of negative 222,000. Jail fund, intergovernmental revenue of 111,000. Charges for services, 2,000. Miscellaneous revenues of 1,501. Interest earned of 100. Surplus borrowing and transfers of 551,946. 04, intergovernmental revenues of 110,000. Interest earned of 50. And surplus borrowing and transfers of 55,950. Solid waste, intergovernmental revenues of $30,000, interest earned of $50. Opioid miscellaneous revenue of $20,000, surplus borrowing or transfers of $230,000. E911 taxes of $25,000, interest earned of $50, and surplus borrowing or transfers of $99,950. ABC license and permits $100,639.50. Intergovernmental revenues of $500, interest earned of $50. Surplus borrowing or transfers of $1. County clerk's dock storage miscellaneous revenue of $25,000, interest earned of $500, and surplus borrowing and transfers of $70,000. The transient room taxes $25,000, surplus borrowing or transfers. Intergovernmental revenues for Angels Envy Sewer Project $260,000, interest earned $100, and the surplus borrowing transfers of $139,900.
Now we get into the details of those lines.
So this is 01 revenue, general fund. Real estate property taxes, $1,260,000. Tangible property, personal property taxes of $40,000. Motor vehicle property taxes of $195,000. Delinquent property tax of $15,000. Other ad valorem $1. Bank franchises $65,000. Deed transfer $90,000. Excess fees from the clerk of $172,382. Excess fees from the sheriff $12,596.80. Planning and zoning fees $110,000. Franchise fee $185,000. Telecommunication fee of $10,000. Other franchise, which is Rumpke, of $90,000. Other franchise safety clean of $140,000. Animal and dog license $1. Omitted property tax of $2,500. FEMA's left open with $1. Motor vehicle tax other counties of $30,000. These next ones are just left open. Voting machine grant of $1. Grants for the park $1. Animal services grant $1. Homeland Security DEM $1. Homeland Security Sheriff $1. Election refund $8,000. Board of Assessments Appeals $300. Legal process $100. AOC rental of $245,000. Court facility $30,000. Clef for sheriff is $28,091.52. DES reimbursement of $13,000. Fiscal court filing fee of $5,000. Park shelter rentals for $1,000. Senate Bill 66 of $10,000. Vending and concessions of $5,000. Castle House rentals $21,600. County attorney salary reimbursement of $150,000. AOC reimbursement $1. Health insurance reimbursement $1. Liability insurance reimbursement $20,000. Animal control reimbursement $1,000. Safety clean community $60,000. Historical society donations $1. Park donations for trees $1,000. Miscellaneous revenue of $1,000. Other receipts $5,000. Salary reimbursement for the county clerk of $382,803. Salary reimbursement for the sheriff is $680,203. CD interest of $100,000 and checking interest of $20,000. Prior year carryover of $1,692,583. Transfer out of $622,047.75 with a transfer in of $222,000. And that's the revenue for 01 general.
Any questions on any of that?
No, good. All right, road fund, FEMA $1. Local assistance, road reimbursement, that's the money for the state funding for the roads paving, $167,100. Emergency road aid $1. Transportation cabinet flex funds is $213,089.25. This balance is higher from a balance that we have with the flex fund, so that won't be there next year. Last year, I think it was budgeted at $120,000. Truck license refund of $222,000. Driver's license of $2,000. County road aid, which is down over $200,000 from last year's projections.
217,513 is what that's down.
It's down to $991,307.75. The state road bridge 80/20 program of $80,000. Culvert installation, which is a wash of $5,000. Road health insurance reimbursement of $1. Miscellaneous revenue $1,000. CD interest $1, and checking interest $500. Got a transfer out of $222,000. And total road revenue to $1,460,000. Okay, moving on to the jail fund. State jail allotment of $62,000. State jail medical of $5,000. The jail court fee, House Bill 452 of $10,000. DUI receipts of $2,000. Court cost supplement of $7,000. House Bill 463 correctional assistance of $25,000. Transport fee of $2,000. Jail reimbursement of $500. Jail health reimbursement of $1. Miscellaneous of $1,000. Checking interest of $100. And transfer in $551,946. Last year it was $482,900. So big difference in our jail need for revenue. Okay, LGEA, $110,000. Interest checking $50. Prior year carryover $55,950, for a total of $166,000. Solid waste state grant of $26,000, tire grant of $4,000, and checking interest of $50. So it's a total of $30,050. Opioid settlement receipts of $20,000, prior year carryover of $230,000, for a total of $250,000. E911 $25,000 in E911 fees, $25,000. Interest checking $50, prior year carryover of $29,848, 25, and a transfer in of $70,101.75. And that's back to what we were discussing earlier with the funds for the regional account starting to dry up. ABC license and fees of $100,639.50. ABC return checks $500. Checking interest of $50. Prior year carryover of $1 for $101,190.50. Clerk document fees for county clerk, $25,000. Clerk storage fees for interest of $500, and then prior year carryover of $70,000 for a total of $95,500. Transient room tax $25,000 for a total of $25,000. And then Angels Envy sewer project EDA grant $260,000, $100 from checking interest, and prior year carryover of $139,900 for a total of $400,000. Does anybody have any questions on the revenue side? Okay, the next sheet is the road cost of allocation worksheet. This is a breakdown of percentages. So county judge, so the percentage we're allocated is 26.02. So we were able to road allocate $29,712.11 from the county judge's salary, $9,588.28 from the deputy judge's salary, fiscal court clerk of $1,040.68. The judge executive's office supplies $1,300.85. County attorney's salary of $7,362.79. County Attorney Office supplies of $208.14. County Magistrate salaries of $28,358.45. Incentive training of $9,626.26. Legal ads for $1,385. Registrations, conferences, trainings, $3,123. County Treasurer's salary of $16,351.64. County Treasurer's office supplies of $520.34. Auditing of $13,008.47. Insurance expense of $27,317.78. Social Security of $36,423.70. County retirement of $89,758.41. Health insurance of $96,262.64 for a total of $371,063.42. And then sheriff deputy salary of $395,000. So basically, if those can all add up to $222,000, you can do your own cost allocation, which we do. The next item is the annual standing order for pre-approved claims and recurring expenses. So these are all pre-approved line items that we can write a check and don't have to be approved at fiscal court. So a lot of them are utilities, payroll, that kind of thing. So utilities and annex. Should I read the account numbers? Legal fees, court ordered, PVA statutory contribution, PVA telephone, custodial contracted services, lawn at the courthouse, courthouse insurance, courthouse utilities, concessions, parks utilities, memberships, social security, county retirement, health insurance, utilities, social security, retirement, health insurance, social security, retirement, employee health insurance, building inspector, ABC enforcement officer, sheriff building purchase, and social security benefits. So with this, we'll need a motion to accept it in a second and a vote, so that we can put that on, and then the judge would sign it.
I'll make a motion to accept. Second.
All right, all in favor? All right, motion carries. We have to do that for the audit.
Okay, the next page is budgeted liabilities report. So we've got two. One is the sheriff's building. The date it was issued was 9/29/21. The principal amount was $135,000. The interest on it was going to be $33,236.68 for a total of $168,236.68. Current principal balance is $105,000. Current interest balance is $17,592.68 for a remaining of $122,592.68. Due this fiscal year is going to be at $12,889.50. The other one is the courthouse, which really we don't have anything to do with as far as the payments at AOC, but we have to report it on our liability sheet. So that was created on 5/1/19. It's a principal amount of $16,075,000, interest of $6,120,438, total of $22,195,438. The principal balance is currently $12,490,000. Interest balance is $3,042,350. The total outstanding is $15,532,350. Total due this fiscal year of $1,112,350. The last page is the 2025 year tax rates. These were all approved back in September of 25. Has for Henry County, real property of 10.1, personal property of 10.1, motor vehicle of 11.9, and watercraft of 11.9. It also has a special districts, ambulance district, real property at 6.0, personal property at 6.0, motor vehicle at 6.0, and watercraft at 6.0. Library, real property at 8.6, personal property at 8.67, motor vehicle at 3.74, and watercraft at 3.74. Soil conservation, real property at 0.89, personal property, motor vehicle and watercraft at 0. Extension office, real property at 4.0, personal property at 4.0, motor vehicles at 1.7, watercraft at 1.7. Health department, real property at 4.0, personal property at 4.0, motor vehicle at 4.0, and watercraft at 4.0. And Little Kentucky watershed, real property at 2.6, personal property, motor vehicle, and watercraft at 0. This was in tax rates indicated above on the fiscal court minutes of September 16th, 2025, found on page 368 of fiscal book number 6. Second on there.
All right, do we have any questions? I know it's a lot of numbers. Thank you, Travis, for going through that. You're a whole lot faster than I am on that. But, if you don't have any questions,
Do we have any, capital improvement money for the animal control?
no.
I was thinking that the, conference, she was requesting $1,000 for training.
We raised it to 500 from 250. How many conferences is she going to?
We'd have to ask her that.
If we add anything, we'll have to take it away somewhere else. We gotta have some way to put it in there. We've got 12,000 in there for a vehicle. We did just take them a vehicle last week from one of the old, emergency services vehicles. So hopefully that'll cover them. If it don't, but we don't wanna buy anything until after January, if we had to buy another vehicle. She was wanting Keith's other pickup truck. Keith don't wanna sell that pickup truck. And she offered him 10,000 for it. And he told her, he said, you can get a whole lot better truck than that for $10,000. So, he don't wanna sell the truck. He said he's got stuff invested in it. He just put new transmission and all that in it. He said, cause if he sells that, he's gotta buy another truck. He said, I'd rather just let Jeremy keep driving that truck. So, I mean, there's not much money we can put in there. What would you want, Roger?
Well, again, she requested $1,000. I would think $1,000 in there to train her and the part-time animal control officer.
We could raise that to 1,000 and,
Make the vehicle
Just
11.5.
11.5.
yeah, why don't we do that?
Okay.
All these numbers are hard to observe, but when we go over our budget, we have last year's numbers and we compare it to this year's.
Makes
That
it a
gives
lot
us
easier.
makes a really good idea of where we're at and how we got it and what we need. So when you read all these right here, it's kind of hard to.
Well, I've got a sheet for myself. It's got last year what was budgeted
Right.
and this year what's
It
budgeted.
just makes it a lot more understandable for us on the committee.
Any other questions or comments? Or if we have another reading on this, but we'd rather have all the changes on this one than the next one, just because it's gotta be sent to the DLG and be approved. But it's not the end of the world if we have to adjust again.
If we did any capital improvements for, I'm a little concerned about the animal control area not having any ability to make it better. Last year, we budgeted the fence project, which was about 30,000. Total, which was 15 to us.
I'll get paid half for it.
No.
Two kinds of nice trap.
Do you have last year's animal control budget?
I don't have it here. Let's see,
It's took through the problem, didn't it?
This is
Over there.
your sides.
Yeah.
I mean, did you take a line out?
Mm-mm. No, so last year, starting with, operating expense, let's see here, animal control officer was 48,500, so that went up 1,000. Animal control, it was labeled as part-time, but we just have a full-time at 30,500. $1 for grants and donations. Animal services operating expense, 25,000, which is 25,000 this year. Operating services, fuel and maintenance was 7,500. 250 for the conference. We put 500, but we've changed that to 5,000 or 1,000. There was $1 in animal shelter repair and $1 in animal shelter projects, and $1 in animal control vehicle. We put 11,500 in that, and that's it for last year's budget. So when did that fence come into play with that idea? Was that budgeted in at the beginning of the year?
Because we asked Trimble County to match it.
Okay, maybe that was the prior year.
Must have been.
Didn't she raise money for that thing?
She did,
Some
but
of it.
Some of it. okay.
yeah.
But I mean, we didn't take a line out of the budget. I can go down and get one of the other budgets if you want me to, just to make sure.
It had to be 20.
What do you want?
One of the budgets on the shelf from the year we're in right now, just to make sure that we didn't miss a line.
Didn't we approve a certain amount at one of the meetings when this fence thing came up? So, pay half.
Do what?
Didn't we they asked for the money at fiscal court one meeting and then we approved it and that's how it worked. It wasn't in the budget or nothing, was it?
I thought it was in the budget.
I don't remember what the
It's
date,
gotta be in the
what
budget.
year that was.
I remember asking Trimble County to match it.
Had to be 24.
Thank you.
So it was in fiscal year, the previous fiscal year.
Yeah, 'cause it's not on.
152057160 was the account number, and we have 15,000.
Yeah, 'cause this year
But
here's
it
got
wasn't,
it
it's not in. Moved it from the current.
from the one we're in right now.
So it's a project. Account though. Not like. Operational
So
expense.
how much you think they need, Roger? Here's the thing, I know they're asking to raise that to a 6-foot fence, I'm 100% against that. Because we've done spent money to put brand new fence in, 4-foot fence, now we wanna change it, and people give donations, so we're throwing their donations away and redoing it.
Actually not. They can say run an extender on top of it. They got a problem with dogs are getting out of that. That's the reason they want to raise it. They're saying they can extend on top of that fence, not take it out and replace it. Is that right?
They're saying dogs are jumping over.
But I mean, can they extend that fence up, not tear that fence out, like
You
they were
could-
doing?
Yeah, but you're gonna take the wire off, put new wire on
Okay.
and new post, sleeved over the existing.
I mean, I'm just one guy, but to me, that's a waste.
Because they're wanting to do a concrete pad with,
I talked to John about that, and John said he's not against that. Here is my fear. We put a concrete pad in so they can put the dogs outside, and then 6 months from now, they're gonna say it's too hot on the dogs. We need to build an air-conditioned building for them to be in on top of this concrete pad, and that's where we gotta draw the line somewhere.
Yeah.
I think it'd be good to have a concrete pad to, put the kennels on that's been donated. But I think we gotta be careful that we don't blow money, on that kind of stuff when the budget's tight as it is.
I think the plan is to have two benefits bringing in a lot of money
Mm-hmm.
and have that paid for.
And that would go through Trimble County's
Yeah.
budget, not ours. So, I mean, I know somebody said, I don't even remember who told me now, but that they got a bid on the concrete for, did you tell me that?
Yeah, like 9,500, Danielle, I think said, that's what it was.
For 9,500. That's the first I've heard of any money on it. But that'd be a pretty big slab, I would think, but I don't know that for sure. I don't know who bid it.
Depends on who's doing it.
Yeah, so, I mean, what do you?
Well,
what
I
do you
just
think?
like, I don't know how difficult it would be, but I would like to see like a $7,500 line item in there for capital improvements for the shelter. Then we need to ask Trimble County to match it. They give us 15,000 to improve the shelter. Cause we need to insulate the roof.
Didn't they do that last year?
I don't know what they did.
I thought they did.
I was over there one day and
Manny
they
went
blowing
over
it
there,
in
didn't
there.
Did they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Manny went over and did it.
Yeah, we went, having to go that day.
Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of money spent there, but, we could take that vehicle out.
Well, she wants a vehicle as well.
The money will have to come from somewhere.
About the only thing you could do is take it out of the vehicle. You can't take from other places.
How much, do they have part-time staff over
Henry County does not,
You got two
two
full-time.
full-time.
there?
So
We got two full-time?
we upgraded to 2 full-time employees, year ago. Yeah. Oh, Dana's been there.
That says part-time.
I changed it on the,
That's control staff, but I just didn't know.
yeah. I think there's.
It turned into a full-time job.
So,
Well, it's a lot of an improvement there.
So I mean, is there a specific capital improvement project that we're talking about? Have we talked to Trumbull County about it? Are they on board? Like, we typically have this all lined out before budget time, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, like I say, the last
They had a
meeting we had, we talked about doing the concrete pad with the exterior. And it was reported at fiscal court the
And
other
that's
day.
gonna cost $9,500 total project?
That's what Danielle told me Monday.
That sounds like that's what the concrete pad is gonna cost, so you're gonna have to have some structure, or some fencing around it as well.
no, they said the kennel's been donated.
I think that was two like 10-foot by 10-foot cage areas though.
And that may be all they're pulling,
I don't know.
it's 20 by 10.
Yeah, I'm not sure what size or any of that.
How much concrete?
I think we need to figure it out before we.
I think she needs to decide whether she wants, maintenance or a new vehicle.
Well, I don't know, but if I was asking for stuff in a budget, sounds like she's throwing stuff against the wall, see what sticks, and I don't blame her, I do the same thing, ask for as much as you can get, you know, and then see what you do get. So,
The only
no
thing-
doubt they don't need it, but
We've got a lot of needs.
If you ain't got it.
We got a lot of potholes too, need blacktop.
I don't know, but grab by my house, you come out and fix a couple of
Can't
them.
build up dog poop, it won't work.
Roger, they have a timeline when they're wanting to do that pad. Where they like this,
Seems like it's
some,
as soon as we can.
What do we got left in this year's budget? Do we have any?
$4,000, but we'll use that up on bills from Trumbull County for operation. When they,
Cause they ain't sent us a bill.
they send them in clumps,
Yeah, I know. So
so,
we're not up to date on what we have there.
um.
You took our reserve transfers, that makes you nervous to knock it down to 92, 7, or 92.5 from 100,000.
Roger, can she make it another year with that truck?
Well, it's not the
They want
truck,
another
they want the
vehicle.
second vehicle, and so we had Zach fix up the old EMS, Explorer. So they've got two vehicles that are operational right now. But that was just that was to try to get them another vehicle, and then their truck went down with the radiator hose, but it's back now, so they've got two operational vehicles. So they may not need a vehicle. I think she was leaning toward trying to get Keith's truck, but that didn't sound like that was what was gonna probably happen, and.
When I talked to Keith, he said, I don't wanna sell it, cause I don't want to replace it.
Right, I understand that.
She's got two operational, why does she need a third one?
So I would say use some of that 11.5 for projects, or we can, and then we could always transfer it, if they don't do a project and they need a vehicle, we could transfer it back over to vehicle. That's why I wasn't sure when they were gonna do it, because if vehicle wise, we wouldn't be purchasing that till January anyway. So if they can get by with the two vehicles that they have,
Well, first of the year.
Is there anything wrong with the vehicles they have?
I mean, just like all vehicles, they
They're equivalent to the rest of the county
get
vehicles?
old
Yeah.
and wore out, and we have
I
no,
mean, the truck's in good shape, it's just got a lot of miles on it. It's gonna run another 100,000 miles.
Can't you
once they
just
maintain
leave it, can't you just leave it like that, leave it in there for the vehicle, and then if you need to move it, you can.
Are you saying just expend out of that line item?
or we could transfer it to operations,
No.
as needed if they wanted to use it
You
toward.
Take it out sewer. Take it out sewer.
Yeah, we could, in this budget, we can move from line item to line item and not have to have a budget amendment.
I move that we leave it as it is for the time being.
Till they get it figured out, a price.
Right.
Well, once we vote on this, it's gonna be set, for the year, but like I say, we can move from, line item to line item. Is the operating expense, I don't think there's no room there.
No, because we expanded to do the CAT program,
Yeah,
last year.
and are we running pretty close on the fuel maintenance, Travis?
We still have about 3,000 in there.
We'll be okay on that. But that's not a lot of money that we can move.
$4,200 in operational expenses and basically 3,000 in fuel maintenance, which we just had a tow bill and stuff for that truck, so I don't know how much that will, shouldn't be much. And then we just had the salaries, so that's really all that's left for this year, and we don't have we're not up to date on the bills from Trimble County. I don't know if the new ones are gonna come in July, if we paid all we wanna pay for this year, or when that will happen, but
That's kinda up to Trimble County when they send.
yeah, they just kinda send them in clumps. And then she was talking about they made like $11,000 in donations or something last year at that event. Do you know where that money is? I'm assuming Trimble County has it, but have they allocated that for anything?
I don't know the answer to that.
She didn't either, and Heather hasn't asked about it. I just found out about this on Monday, when she came in to do her health insurance, so I didn't know how much, if there is a Trimble County project fund from fundraising.
To your point on that, if, like these upcoming fundraisers, if that money goes to Trimble County, does that mean they get to decide how it's spent and we don't have a say in that, or how does that work?
It's supposed to be both counties. John is talking, because one fundraiser was saying that they didn't want Henry County involved in it. But John told him if Henry County's not involved in it, Trimble County's not either. He said, it's a dual county, animal shelter, and that's what it'll be, so.
So did Danny make a motion to leave it like it is?
Well, I think we need that line item back in there. So we took 500 out of the vehicle, put it on conference for $1,000. So if we could take just $1,500 and take the vehicle down to 10,000 and create a new line item for capital improvements for the shelter, I think we need to keep doing that every year. I'm surprised we didn't do it this past year.
Where will that go in there at, Travis? You got?
I'll make a new line item for capital improvements for animal of 1,500.
Increase the vehicle, what?
10,000.
Okay, any others?
So the motion could be to approve the first reading with the amendments of $500 additional to conferences, $1,500 to capital improvements, leaving the vehicle line item at $10,000.
Yes.
I'll second it.
I got it.
We need a motion.
Roger.
Denise can't make the motion.
No. I was,
I'll make the motion. That we, add the line item, $1,500, vehicle 10.
And raise the conference to 1,000.
Yes, sir.
I'll second it.
Certainly. All right, motion second by Ed, he's already got it. All in favor? All right, motion carried. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
He did.
Okay, I'm sorry. I think.
Kinda.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on. All right, we had to vote on this every year, for the auditors, the approval for the treasurer and the finance officer for the training incentive that we put in last year, and they have already met that. They both went to the, budget workshop and the treasurer and finance officers conference in Shelbyville, so, I'd like to put that in there again for the $2,000 for each of those. But I need that in a motion.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Okay, motion by Ed. Second by Kevin, all in favor? All right, motion carried. Okay, now we move on to the animal, control interlocal agreement, approval. I've asked Denise to read this so we get out here before supper time. But we're gonna go over the whole thing because it was completely changed from what we sent. Thank you, Travis. Travis got to go ride the bus.
Thank you.
They, we made it out and then we sent it to Trimble County. They had Crystal Hines go over it and she changed a lot of the stuff, so it's hard for us to say what's changed and what's not, so we would feel more comfortable just to read the whole thing, just so everybody knows what's involved.
Well, before we do that, Cassidy, have you seen this?
I did. I was on maternity leave when it was changed by Crystal. I reviewed her changes and had no changes to add to it.
The only thing I'm gonna add before we read it, the part-time employees is, no less than 20 hours a week. Wouldn't that be a full-time employee? In employment over 20, full-time,
44 hours a week is what they can get.
24, it is.
They just gotta stay under 96 for the month. So it's 24, ain't that right?
It's actually 90, like
99.
99. But we try to keep it below 90 because retirement audits on a calendar and a fiscal year, which then could potentially make your audit result that they're working over 99 hours a month, and then you have to back retirement on them, no matter how many hours they work from that point forward.
But make sure we didn't create a full-time position there.
I was gonna say, but if we're hiring two, we got
We
two,
already have 2 full-time.
does Trimble County, do they have to?
No, they got, right now, they got a full-timer and 3 part-timers, I think it is now, don't they?
So in regards to this interlocal agreement, it was written to where it would accommodate both part-time employees and, full-time employees, depending on what the need
What
is.
work.
Obviously, Trimble County, if they wanted to have 2 full-time employees, that would be fine as well. It's just your part-time employees, and put a limit on your part-time employees, if that makes sense.
All right, ready?
All right,
Amended and restated interlocal agreement, Henry Trimble County Animal Control and Animal Control Shelters. The amended and restated interlocal agreement made pursuant to the authority of the Interlocal Cooperation Act, KRS 65-210 to 65.300, related to the Henry Trimble County Animal Control and Animal Shelter. Amended agreement is made and entered into as of 3rd of November 2025 by and between the Henry County Fiscal Court and the Trimble County Court, collectively the parties, and alternately the counties. Whereas the parties originally entered into an interlocal agreement to establish the Henry Trimble County Animal Control and Animal Control Shelter pursuant to KRS 258.195 dated May 11, 2011, and approved by the Department for Local Government as ICA 11-017 dated June 13, 2011, the original agreement, and whereas the parties now desire to amend and restate the terms of the original agreement to change substantive operative terms and responsibilities and add certain operating procedures and to incorporate all changes into one document that will supersede all prior agreements between the parties regarding the subject matter hereof, and whereas the parties desire that a lease agreement related to property located at Highway 157, Pendleton, Kentucky, Trimble County, Kentucky, entered into dated October 31st, 2011, remain in full force and effect with no amendments made thereto, and now therefore, in consideration of the mutual covenants and promises contained herein, and other good and valuable considerations, the receipt and sufficiency of which are hereby acknowledged, the parties agree as follows. Agreement. 1. Effective amended agreement. Effective as of the date first written above, the original agreement, as previously amended, is hereby amended and restated in its entirety. This amended agreement shall supersede and replace the original agreement and all prior amendments, which shall be of no further force or effect. The parties agree that this amended agreement does not constitute an innovation, but rather an amendment and restatement. Number 2, membership of the Board of Directors. The Board of Directors, the Board, shall consist of 4 persons. 1 Trimble County Magistrate and the Trimble County Judge Executive, and 1 Henry County Magistrate and the Henry County Judge Executive. Number 3, appointment, reappointment, and terms of board members. The Judge Executive of Henry County and the Judge Executive of Trimble County shall appoint 1 magistrate member from each of the respective fiscal courts. The appointment shall be for a term of 1 year, expiring each year on December 31st. The first appointments under this agreement will be effective as to the effective date of this agreement and will continue until December 31st, 2026. No appointed magistrate shall serve as a member of the board for a period exceeding 4 successive terms. In the event that a magistrate member resigns from the board or is removed from the board, it shall be the duty of the Judge Executive of the county that the magistrate represents to replace the magistrate member for the remainder of the removed or replaced magistrate's term. Number 4, removal of magistrate member. Magistrate members may be removed from the board upon the formal action of the fiscal court of the county that the magistrate member represents. 5, board decisions. All decisions made by the board shall require the unanimous vote, approval, or consent of all members present at a board meeting with a quorum present. 6, board meetings. The board shall meet quarterly to review, including, but not limited to, the following: the financials of the shelter, review and approve any items presented by the animal control officer, review and approve capital projects that exceed $2,500, approve any grant applications, and any other similar items. Number 7, operating budgetary responsibility. Both parties shall have operating budget line items present in each year's budget to accurately and appropriately account for all revenue and expenses of the shelter. Both parties shall ensure that all expenses and reimbursement revenues are budgeted accordingly. Number 8, fiscal administration. Trimble County, through its administrative staff, shall assume the duties and responsibilities of administering the budget, including, but not limited to, the processing of claims associated with the general expenses of the shelter. Claims shall be reviewed and approved by the Trimble County Fiscal Court and the payments issued by the Trimble County Treasurer. Revenue and expense journals shall be submitted to the board on a quarterly basis. Number 9, administrative fee. Henry County Fiscal Court pays to the Trimble County Fiscal Court a monthly fee for performing the budget administration. The fee shall be $160 per month. This fee may be adjusted out of agreement of the parties based on changes in the consumer price index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, CPIW, and performance bonuses. Number 10, utilities. Trimble County Fiscal Court shall submit a monthly statement to the Henry County Fiscal Court in an amount exactly equal to 50% of the utility expense of the shelter location at 9213 Sulphur Road, Sulphur, Kentucky, 4,000 40070, the shelter location. The utility expenses are included but are not limited to water, water disposal, electricity, gas, phone, and internet service. 11, operational expenses. Trimble County Fiscal Court shall submit a monthly statement to Henry County Fiscal Court in an amount equal to 50% of operational expenses that include but are not limited to animal care supplies, animal feed, medical supplies, cleaning supplies, office supplies, software membership, and other miscellaneous operational expenses, including routine building maintenance. Annual expenses. 12, annual expenses. Trimble County Fiscal Court shall submit a statement to the Henry County Fiscal Court in an amount exactly equal to 50% of any annual expenses incurred, including but not limited to insurance on the building and the contents of the shelter location, annual membership due, software licenses, and other miscellaneous annual expenses. 13, capital expenditures. Henry County Fiscal Court shall reimburse the Trimble County Fiscal Court in an amount exactly equal to 50% for capital expenditures at the shelter location, including but not limited to HVAC maintenance, replacement, roof, structure expansion, fencing, etc., that exceed $2,500, requiring approval from each of the respective fiscal courts. Number 14, donations. Donations exceeding $250 shall be acknowledged in accordance with IRS Publication 1771 in the following manner. 1, providing the name of the shelter. 2, the amount of the cash contribution. 3, the description, but not the value of any non-cash contribution. Number 4, a statement that no goods or services were provided by the shelter in exchange for the contribution, providing that none did occur. If the donation has no restrictions attached to the gift, it may be used for any general operating purpose and should be accounted for accordingly in the operating budget. If a donation is made with specific requirements on how the funds must be spent, the donation must be spent accordingly. If it is determined that the donation cannot be used for the intended purpose, then the donation must be rejected. A separate line item shall be established for each donation with restrictions or special designations. Number 15, animal control officer. Each party shall employ one full-time animal control officer, who shall work in unison with supervising the other employees and maintain the facilities of the shelter. Control officer for each county going to work to the meeting. Judge executive of the respective county as their direct supervisor. The employees of each respective county shall work under the direct supervision of the control officer of their county. In the event of absence and/or vacancy, employees shall be under the supervision of the control officer on duty. 16, employees. The employees of each respective county shall work under and abide by the personnel policies and procedures adopted by the fiscal court by which they are employed. The daily operation policies and procedures of this shelter shall be governed by and enforced in unison by both the Trimble County and Henry County judge executives. 17, part-time employees. In addition to each county's full-time control officer, each county shall employ a minimum of one part-time employee to work no less than 20 hours per week. Number 18, salary and benefits of employees. Each fiscal court shall be responsible for all payroll salaries and benefit expenses of their respective employees, including but not limited to health insurance, retirement plan, life insurance, paid leave or paid time off, worker compensation, and other similar benefits. 19, employee transportation. Each fiscal court shall be responsible for supplying and paying for any expenses related to employee transportation. Number 20, hours of operation. Shelter hours of operation are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. unless changed by the board. Additionally, the shelter shall be open 2 weekends a month from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. for the general public to visit. The shelter processes and procedures shall list a detailed schedule of the operation of the shelter. 21, compliance. The Trimble County and Henry County Fiscal Court shall maintain the facility and the services provided therein in accordance with the requirements of the Kentucky Revised Statutes and any applicable state and federal regulations. 22, enforcement. Each county shall carry out animal control enforcement in adherence to the applicable ordinances as adopted by their respective fiscal court. 23, operational policies. A set of operational policies and procedures shall be established by the Trimble County and Henry County judge executives and shall be adhered to by all shelters. 24, dog tags. Trimble County and Henry County fiscal courts shall each issue their own dog tag. These tags shall be available to the public at the shelter so that people who conform to the county's respective county's ordinances or persons wishing to adopt an animal shall be able to purchase tags from the county in which they reside. Tags shall be accounted for separately or remitted to the issuing county respectively. Therefore, each county shall be responsible for complying with its own reporting and remittance requirements as established by the Commonwealth of Kentucky. 25, adoption fees fines. All fees collected for adoptions and fines paid relative to violations shall be applied to the daily operational expenses and reflected on the monthly invoice. 26, insurance and indemnity. Each county individually shall be required to carry adequate liability insurance for any county asset utilized for the operations of the shelter, including but not limited to vehicles and equipment. Each county individually shall be solely liable for any injury or damage, either to persons or property caused by the animals in the care or the transport of the respective control officer and or employees of the county, and shall not hold the other county harmless for any injury or damage, either to persons or property caused by the animals in the care or the transport of the respective control officer and or employees of the county. 27, workers' compensation. Workers' compensation policies shall be maintained so as to be provided to the shelter employees of their respective county. 28, termination. This agreement may be terminated by either party upon 30 days written notice provided to the other party by the party wishing to terminate the agreement. 29, term. The term of this agreement shall be for 1 year and may be renewed annually with an effective date of July 1st. 30, governing law. This agreement shall be interpreted, construed, and governed by the laws of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. 31, severability. In the event that any one or more of the provisions of this agreement or any part of a provision shall be judicially determined to be contrary to law or otherwise invalid or unenforceable in any respect, such as invalidity, illegality, or unenforceability, shall not affect any other provision or part of a provision of this agreement. And such provision or part of a provision shall be reformed, interpreted, and construed as if such provision or a part of a provision had never been included in this agreement. 32, entire agreement. This agreement constitutes the entire agreement and understanding between the parties regarding the subject matter thereof, and it supersedes all prior negotiations, representations, understandings, and agreements between them, written or oral, all of which are no longer effective. 33, amendment. This agreement may not be amended by any means other than a written agreement signed by those parties. 34, captions and headlines. Captions and headlines of the paragraphs and subparagraphs of this agreement have been inserted for the convenience of reference only, and in no way shall affect the interpretation of any of the terms and provisions of this agreement. In witness whereof, the parties represented respectively by the Trumbull County Judge Executive and Henry County Judge Executive, acting in their official capacities, have signed this agreement with the intent to be bound thereby on this 3rd day of November 2025, and will be signed by Judge Ogburn, Trumbull County, Crystal Hines, Trumbull County Attorney, Scott Bates, Henry County Judge Executive, and Cassie Hicks, Henry County Attorney.
Good job.
Thank you.
You're just lucky you didn't show up.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
So is it, what's it, I mean, what do you think? I do have one question on the weekend hours, because they said that the weekend hours is a flop. If we agree to
Since
this,
I've been brought into working with animal control, they have changed the hours on 3 different occasions.
I know,
Without prior authorization from either county. But they insisted that we push this through, so we had no choice but to come up with hours, to be established.
but I think they're wanting to change that now, because
So any of
they
it
ain't
would
getting no
be,
traffic.
both Trumbull County and,
But we can do amendments to this
yes.
So we
later.
already approved of theirs, in November of 25, so if we have changes or amendments, then it would go back to start over from the drawing board from both counties. Because they've already approved as written.
So,
But doesn't it say here that the agreement, it says the agreement may not be amended by any means other than a written agreement signed by both parties.
Right.
So
So it would be an amendment
So we
to
could-
this document.
So we have to adopt this document before we can move into anything without having to start the whole process over.
Yeah.
But doesn't the board that, like, both can, they can
I
change
was just
the
gonna
hours?
say, under number 20, the board can approve hours change, if that's the sole question. on anything.
That's all my
That's
question
already
is.
with- That as written,
Okay,
the board has
alright.
authority to change hours. This is just like a default.
Okay, I'm good with it then.
So I have one question, actually two questions. One question, on number 11, which says operational expenses, did you guys say that they're not giving you the expense, the bills on a
Yes,
monthly
they're supposed to
basis?
do it monthly.
Monthly, it says that right here.
Yeah, they're supposed to do it monthly, but I mean, it's,
But yet the expenses are, the expenses are reported, the claims shall be reported to the fiscal court, on a quarterly basis.
so Trimble County, because they oversee everything, they should be submitting basically a quarterly report of their
To the board.
operation expense to the board.
But,
which should
but
show
monthly
you-
bills to you guys.
Which, yeah, so we would pay it, we would reimburse them for their expenses. What that supposed to do is basically keep your board, up to
date.
date with donations
Right.
and expenses. And it would actually, what we spoke about earlier in the budgets.
So if this is signed as is, then they need to start doing the monthly thing.
Mhm.
As long as they do it within a fiscal year, I think it's okay. We're not talking about, lots of money. It's hurting them more than it's hurting us.
Okay.
They pay the
If you don't
bill,
care.
they pay the bills and we reimburse them. So, and it's pretty detailed when they send us it's half of a KU bill, half of a phone bill, half of a spectrum
Yeah.
bill.
But it's just that if it's an unexpected expense that hits all of a sudden.
It's not
one
though.
thing.
That's what, we've got it budgeted.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're, a budget
You
was.
just sit back and the community just pays.
Yeah, so we can make 12 payments a year, or we can make one payment, it would be the same total,
That's
so. But like Cassidy said, this would be default for when, if there was new administration in both counties, this is what they would have to fall back on.
And I will say, for me, and I talked to John about this, the way it's set up right now, we got an animal shelter committee. Well, then myself or John, neither one can be at that meeting, or it's an illegal meeting, and both of us has got a quorum. So we need to be involved in the quarterly meetings too. So we thought this would be better to put us on there too, and then, one magistrate of both counties on there too.
So the committee will meet monthly, or supposedly.
Quarterly.
You guys meet quarterly,
Mm-hmm.
okay. And that's, okay.
Yeah, we can meet after.
Just whenever, yeah, but I think it would be good, that way cause it does make it bad for magistrates to be, in these committees and hear all this stuff, and then there ain't no, judge to explain why we can or can't do it.
Right.
And so I think it will work better.
Well, and so I want to chime in, I want to leave as much as you all do, but when this was first created, an animal shelter wasn't built either. So they had to create a board or a committee, for the capital project within itself, and that board and committee, decided on that project, the paint, the whatever, the design, all of that stuff. Well, once that project was done, with the old interlocal agreement, they had no job really, authority to do anything. It all was the judges, but the judges aren't meeting at all,
Yeah, we
correct?
talk on the phone, but other than that,
So really, I don't know that the current Trimble County, Henry County magistrates meeting, I don't know that needs to happen anymore, once this is adopted, and it needs to be the two judges and two magistrates.
Right.
So whatever committee is currently or has been meeting doesn't need to meet any longer.
Very good.
Just make sure that was clear.
So
Yeah, that was a little muddy, but I got it.
Yeah.
So would there still be a fiscal court magistrate committee?
Yes.
and they would meet separate to this board?
And their job is to make sure that so their job would be for Danielle, that'd be like the liaison, you know, that she would meet with them and keep them up to date on what's going on a daily procedure from Henry County's perspective, make any sort of request, and then as the magistrates, they would come
To the board.
to the fiscal court. But
I think you just said the opposite of what you said before, though.
Yeah, I don't,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, it's clear as mud.
well, so the old contract, the interlocal agreement had your committee that where, I'm assuming it's you and another magistrate from Trimble County, Danielle, and whoever, right? So
it's
that,
three magistrates from Henry County.
Roger, Carl, and Kevin?
is there one from Trimble County that meets?
There's two.
Two, okay. So that committee originally was created for the creation of the animal shelters building, the capital project. But they had no authority to do anything else throughout that interlocal agreement. They had authority over the project. So your current stuff, all the other stuff that's listed in this interlocal agreement was always the judges, but the judges don't meet with that because it's a quorum. So it was like two committees within one in this interlocal agreement, because you don't have a capital project anymore. That committee no longer really is needed. It needs to be the two judges and the two magistrates.
And I don't think we need another committee.
Meeting with animal control
Yes,
and doing away with what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
yes.
I don't have a
And
problem with it.
what I would
You're only
like
gonna
to
be
do
here
is
two
keep.
more months.
I don't have a problem with it.
Do we have a fiscal court one that's just 3 Henry County magistrates?
Yes, but that's not gonna be needed.
So one committee would replace two?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Then yes, that would be fine too.
and I would like
There
to,
you go.
which I know we probably don't even need to discuss this.
No, you don't.
But,
Okay,
so I'll make a motion to approve this as written.
all right, got a motion, second by Carl, all in favor? All right, motion carries. I'll take a motion for adjournment.
Somebody get one too?
Ed, second by Danny, all in favor? All right, thank you.
Income parents.
All right.
Five votes.
You talk more about dogs,